So I'm going to say I'm Juliet Edwards, and I'm here representing Bantony Education on behalf of the LME project, which is a European-funded project looking to support people from migrant backgrounds to get into entrepreneurship, and for entrepreneurs who are from migrant backgrounds who are looking to go further, to get advice, to get inspiration. I would say, well, from looking at your bio on LinkedIn, etc., I mean, you describe yourself as a strategic advisor on diversity and inclusion. And you're also very much a social entrepreneur, I'd say, given the types of projects you do. So rather than me try and introduce you, would you like, if you could just take a minute to say a little bit about your background and how you've got to where you are today, and maybe a word on the projects that you're working on right now?
No, of course. First, thanks, Juliette, for the invite to speak around entrepreneurship a little bit and about my own trajectory until today. So myself, I'm, like you said, Hassan Al HILOU. I'm an entrepreneur focusing on two kinds of activities. So the first activity is really helping companies and institutions in diversity and inclusion to become more diverse, to become more inclusive from employee perspective, but also from consumer perspective, so customers. That's like a real consultancy work that we deliver, with also like keynote speaking that we give. The second activity is more the social activity, and that's where I'm like the co-founder and also the managing director of Capital VZW. And
Sorry,
Capital VZW.
VZW, oh yeah, okay, yeah. Okay.
And that's a project funded by the public and the private, and it's a project focusing really on creating an ecosystem of co-creation for the vulnerable youngsters, so that every vulnerable youngster could get an opportunity to become financial independence. And then the way how we bring them towards financial independency is by really searching towards different NGOs and businesses that could help them in becoming financial independence, so becoming an entrepreneur or an employee. So that's my second activity, the social one. Okay.
And how did you yourself get started as an entrepreneur? Because you're still very young. I don't know if you want to give your age.
Yeah, 21 years old. So
yeah. So you're young, but you've already got quite a lot of experience, and you've already been through a couple of different projects. So how is it that you got started? Like, what was it for you that sparked this interest?
So for me, I really started from a focus of creating financial independency for myself. So when I was 15 years old, we grew up in poverty, and I was searching a way to create my own income, to become myself financial independence, as I could not ask someone for some pocket money or something to really buy things or to have activities. And so my real reason to become an entrepreneur was to become financial independence. And so at the age of 15, when I had this mind shift of, okay, how could I become financial independence? The reality was that I could not become an employee or student job as of my age, and also about the lack of enough workplaces to go as a student job. And so what I saw was that the entrepreneurship was the only way out to create your own financial independency without really needing the help of someone or something. You can like go behind your screen and creating your own startup. And so that was the real reason why I founded my first startup. And then I had the luck that it was also a great business idea and that it grew really fast.
Okay, yeah, it's very young, 15. Okay, and I'd say from that, so you may already actually have mentioned that in this like aspect of financial independence, but what do you see as one of the biggest advantages to being an entrepreneur, to being self-employed, to being your own manager, your own employer?
So the biggest, the one thing that I really like about entrepreneurship is the fact that you can think and act directly, as of you don't need to really ask someone about could I do this, or could I develop this idea, or could I develop this project? No. If you think it's a product fit or market fit, then you create it, and you can directly sell it or create a profit from it. And that's really the independency about it, that you can like become your own leader, and not everyone is like that. So there are people that don't have ideas and don't like to think every night about something different or about the financial stuff. And that's also okay. And those are the people that become employees of companies. And then you have like the middle between them, people that really like to have those ideas and thinking and creating and brainstorming, but they don't really like to search the money or really developing it. And those are like the entrepreneurs inside companies or institutions. And so that's for me like the biggest benefit is like an entrepreneur is someone that can think and act directly, where an employee would more often think or only act, and the entrepreneur can think. And so that's the biggest benefit, I think, of becoming an entrepreneur.
Okay.
And the other hand is you don't need to explain something to other ones. So if you don't have any university or any degree, for example, it's not like that you should be ashamed of yourself and say to people, oh, I don't have a degree or I don't talk your language. Yeah, no, start your company or start your business and focus on, okay, what could I deliver that don't need the things that maybe in the company would need from me, and focus on that. So that's a second reason.